talk about like, first getting into music and like, like what was some of your earliest music memories and like what was it like in your first like recording session?
Shoot, some of my earliest music memories. There's an artist called Lilo Thomas. Yeah, Lilo. He was popular like it was like the 80s or something like that. But my mother, she also worked at Sony for a little bit, and I'm pretty sure she knew him before then. But I used to go up to the studio, and he was a really good singer. I used to just be in the studio, and I would see him working, and I would just see how, like, and he had it was like, nice studio with a board and everything, and it wasn't like necessarily he would teach me anything, but like from like seeing that, in foreign, you would learn stuff. And I remember one time I was a little kid, man. I went over I can't remember, it was either Salt or Pepper. Salt and Pepper. Yeah. It was one of their kids, so they were working on something, and that was crazy. Like I ended up over there, man, and I was like playing pool while they were recording, but like I just remember being young as fuck. But I remember like just seeing the process, and like you go in the booth and just shit like that. So that stuff I remember, and then down to my mother showing me keys would be the first I remember, like personally when I first started, and then I used to play baritone and drums.
So what are all the different like instruments that you play on? What's your favorite?
I can get down on keys. I'm definitely most proficient at guitar. That's my jazz, man. You know what I mean? Like guitars, that's just what I connected with. Bass, if you consider that different, acoustic, and I used to play a baritone. Don't hold me to that though. I know the notes, but I don't do that shit no more. And so just like, and I produce like production keys, stuff like that, and mainly guitar.
So for the people that never heard your music before, like how would you describe your music to them?
African Americana is like just true R&B. Like, and when I say that, it's true like rhythm and blues, or true rhythm and blues rock. So like AA Forever, like it's like it just encompasses everything that is our music, you know what I mean? So if it's hip hop, if it's blues, if it's rock, we're gonna do it tastefully, but with our taste on it, And I think music has come around to what we've been doing for a while. It's like where, shout out to Gunna, shout out to Lil Nas, even shout out to Post Malone. That fusion is coming around. So whether it's on a trap beat with guitar, or if it's live, it's just like it's being accepted again. And I think that's what we've always gone for. It's the fusion. Shout out to Parliament Funkadelic, New Age Parliament. That's why I always love that shit.
So you're one half of the group, right?
Yeah. Alex, he also does production. He plays keys when we do live, and he's also a fire rapper, artist in general. Does graphic design as well. So any of the shit you see pressed up, that's mostly done by Alex.
Yeah. So talk about like y'all chemistry and kind of like how y'all met. And, I mean.
Yeah. I first came down. I started working with after I was at the studio, I started working with an artist called Flaco Torres. Shout out to Flaco. And through him, I was doing like some, we wrote a Fire album, FML. I did a lot of the guitar work on that. Through that, I met Alex, because they had previously worked before. Al King, he was formerly known. And that's Alexander Raff now. And so shit came around. We were like, yo, let's hit him with this Inception idea. We talked about pretty much like, the name even African Americana being like 7 years ago, that was controversial,
Yeah.
It was like hella shows. People wouldn't book us, man. They'd be like, yo, African Americana, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they would hear our shit. Like we had a song called SugarCane, which shout out to Afropunk, they covered that shit. And that helped us out a lot at the time, man. Because they would see the article from Afropunk, and then they would hear the song and be like, oh, okay. And he was like, yo, but it's just even the fact that they had to hear what we sounded like before they would, and then that's another thing. And I was just talking with Alex to talk about the dynamic. Like, we're just like, we're blessed, and we're happy that shit is coming around, because even the name African Americana now, like we talk about shit like we do shit before it's cool. Remember I was talking about the jeans and shit like that, and shit, African Americana wasn't cool, but it's cool now. Shout out to people, you know what I mean? Like all this shit going on, whenever like people hear Americana on top of all the shit we did, like they fuck with it heavy now. So
is it more like a political message behind some of the music?
Yeah. Some of them, I think because I know what we do in our music is, so we'll give you like, for instance, SugarCane. You know, we dropped SugarCane, and it's a blues rock song, but the content of that song is very much like inner city shit that we were going through.
Yeah.
And so it was getting radio play at one point, and they took it off the radio, and they were like, "This song's about cocaine," which, you know, I never infer what a song should be about, but you know, that's not necessarily what I was talking about in it. But I think it's funny because that same radio station will play Eric Clapton's Cocaine, and it's no problem at all. And so if it is a political statement, it's on that, you know what I mean? The stuff that we talk about, the things that we create, like even now, it was a struggle forever for people to say hip hop was art, like, which is, you know what I mean? It's the same way with blues. Every time something that we create, it's always like jungle devil music, and then they take it over, and it's not, you know? So if it's a political statement, it's on that. But a lot of the stuff we talk about is just the shit that we go through. And that in itself, as like, you know, a black man, I think is political to a certain point, you know.
Get me out of here. I got a bird on the grove. I put a bird on the stove. She got me a rap in the stove. She like that I rap and I smoke. We match like Sonic and